All right, Alexis, thanks for coming on my show. Happy to have you.
Happy to be here. Thank you
Yeah,
for having me.
absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to pick your brain on a bunch of topics. We set the topics what we're going to do, but the first topic being CBD, because that's where I remembered what you were doing. And BNI, I was in there with you.
Yes.
And CBD has been, at least in my knowledge base, for 10 plus years. And just know that there's so much going on with it when it finally got legalized and we're all using it. I just want to know some of the history, some of your company. What are some of the products? There's got to be some quality control finally going on because I know in the supplement industry, that's always been a huge deal, especially talking to some other businesses most recently in mushrooms and some of the things that no one's regulating in the mushroom supplement world. CBD's got to be in the same thing. So I'll pick your brain and see where we go from there.
I love it. And I'm all about the mushroom supplements too. There's so many benefits, especially. So I'm 42 years old and I've just entered my perimenopause era. I didn't know there was an appetizer to menopause. So I'm in it and I'm figuring it out and navigating it and helping my body in all the holistic ways that I can. Because overall, I am about like holistic wellness and things that aren't going to disrupt our hormones, which is very important in this stage of our lives, being in our 40s and plus. So, yeah, CBD, hemp, wellness, all the things. I mean, it truly something that had saved me. It rescued me. I had suffered with anxiety for majority of my life, like 33 years, and had panic attacks and all the things, and just found like survival ways to live with that. I'm always like a glass is half full type of person. So I chose to think like, instead of why am I suffering like this every day, I decided to think, okay, well, my life is filled with so many blessings. This is what has to balance it out, until I found CBD. And it was a natural, I didn't want to take like pharmaceuticals. It's not in alignment with who I am, but finding something that is plant-based, that it put my body back into homeostasis and supported me. So the anxiousness subsided, panic attacks went away. I actually felt I was sleeping better. I had more patience and calm. And I think majority of the people in our era, in our 40s and plus, there's a lot of daily stresses with career, with children, with school, with all the things, politics, whatever, like
Yeah.
picking on your kids. So there's a lot of things that could really disrupt your harmony of life. And hemp, for me and for thousands of others, have really gave us peace and brought us back, that we just feel good overall and we're able to handle everyday stressors in a better way. A fun testimonial that will probably relate. I had girlfriends that were drinking a bottle of wine to settle down at night. And instead they take their little, we call them no yelly jellies, our nano jellies. And now they're cool, calm, collected, can sleep good. They're not waking up with inflammation from the wine or the hangover. So yeah, and just to even touch a little bit on another question you said about regulation and things, it's so important to know where your hemp is sourced from,
Hmm.
because it is such an unregulated product. Knowing that you're getting it from a trusted resource, which for me, Green Compass is that it's a completely vertically integrated company. So meaning nobody else touches our products, and the water, the soil, everything around the environment is controlled and is organic, because hemp is such a porous sponge of a plant. Anything around it is going to take. Majority of products, 80% actually sold in America, are coming from contaminated hemp plants that were used to get rid of pollution, toxins, all those things in the environment. So, and then people are ingesting it, hoping to see results when they were set up for failure from the start. So knowing
Wow.
where it's come from, very important. But yeah, Green Compass is a truly trustworthy company and brand if you're looking for holistic hemp wellness. So yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned your story of kind of your friends kicking the wine and using CBD to calm them down. And the two things that I know from CBD, I think everyone knows, is helping with anxiety, calming down. And then the other one being with like pain relief. So let's stick with those two topics. Where have we
Sure.
gone from there? Has it gotten any better with new technology? I used to see some companies spout out that our CBD has nanotechnology and
We do. We have nanotechnology, which is really cool, because if you don't, which no one really does, Green Compass is really pioneering that space. So if you were to, let's say, let's give the benefit of the doubt to a CBD product that you can buy in, like, I don't know, a dispensary, a gas station these days,
yeah.
it's on everywhere. So let's say it's 100% pure organic CBD. If it's not nano size, that molecule is so big, by the time it makes it through your whole digestive tract, you only end up with 5% of what it started with. So having it be nano sized and bioavailable It goes straight into the blood stream and is very effective and efficient with its working. So another thing for pain technology is CBDA. It's a cannabinoid strand that I haven't seen outside of Green Compass, but it specifically links and binds to like the nerve receptors. So little story, I like stories. The one for me, my brother-in-law is a really incredible chiropractor and physical therapist, but I had so much knee pain I could hardly walk. I booked an appointment to see him. I had stopped taking my CBDA because I had ran out. It also helps you sleep. It's the ultimate booster to your CBD products. It's going to help them work more efficiently and just better. So for extreme situations, it's a great one to add on. But I got my CBDA, started taking it. By the time my appointment came around, I forgot why I booked it. So I'm like, just work on my back, I guess. And I went for 4 appointments till I finally remembered, oh yeah, I came here for my knee, but my knee was like nerve pain related.
Wow.
So the
Okay.
CBDA went in, subsided it. I completely forgot. And that's another thing too, with when you're taking like holistic supplements, I feel, versus like if it's an external and you can see the results in the mirror, the internal things that are helping you, you almost need to document and journal because you almost forget that you were suffering. You forget that you weren't sleeping good, or I forgot my knee hurt. So documenting and taking account how you're feeling as you're taking it before you start your supplements. And that goes with anything, I feel.
Yeah.
Jot down, document your sleep, your mood, your energy, all those things. Then as you start to take it, maybe a week in, jot down where you're at and compare. So I think that's a good, just a little tip for any kind of wellness supplements you're going to start taking, just so that, because we will forget.
I talk about that on my show all the time, just for like weight loss and strength training, all that kind of stuff, journaling everything, because if you don't, 6 months down the line, you'll be like, wait a minute, and remember something from 6 months ago. Well, if you had a journal going, you could constantly kind of refresh yourself if it happens. So
Yep.
with the CBD for calming, even the first versions of CBD that came out seemed to do pretty good. I'd rather get the better quality stuff. They use less to do more for you, so that's great. Pain wise, I remember a lot of CBD products, they were good for just minor aches and pains, but for real severe ones, like when I had my back surgery and I had a herniated disc and all that stuff, nothing in the world could penetrate, get deep enough, or do anything.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear that there's new technology to maybe give you a little bit of a pain relief on there. So
Absolutely. And that's another thing to point out. I think, again, with all supplements in general, is that I feel like most things are not like a quick fix. So if we're having, for example, people who have chronic back pain, and I've had people be like, can I get a sample? I have migraines, I have chronic back pain, I have insomnia. I'm like, babe, my one jelly isn't going to, you have to be consistent. You have to do the work. And the same applies to everything in wellness, but with hemp and CBD in general, it's the same. So I suffered for 33 years with my anxiousness. I was actually really shocked when I realized about a week to 2 weeks in that it had subsided, because I was so used to living that way that I remember like thinking one day, like, oh my gosh, I didn't wake up with a panic attack last night. My mind isn't going off the tracks, and with anxiety, but being consistent. And also a good thing to mention about CBD, especially if it's a high quality one. For me, I had to take morning and night, and sometimes even in the middle of the day, because I was so like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like 110.
yeah.
So as you take it and you build your receptors back up, imagine like a string of lights, Christmas lights. When you plug them in, they're all shining bright. As we age, those light bulbs start to go out. Some are blinking on and on. Some have like faded out completely or shattered even. So if you imagine your endocannabinoid system, which is responsible for all those things, taking internally CBD is going to turn all those light bulbs back on and bring you back to homeostasis. So once those are back on, you don't require as much. So I've actually gotten to lower my dose significantly. And then I was mentioning to you earlier too, just like lowering your toxic intake definitely takes a role in that. So that's something I've done, and also noticed as I've done that with just little everyday fixes and switches and swaps, that I don't require as much CBD and I stay in that homeostasis. So it's
Perfect.
really, it's awesome.
How about for like my audience is real focused on like weight loss? Has CBD been known to help with that or anything?
Oh, yeah, there's been some things being said about lowering your cortisol level, because like the stress and all those things play a role in weight gain. And so when those are all brought down and
There
you're
we go.
more full, then yeah, like it absolutely can play a role in weight loss. And then just a funny one, the people that were drinking a bottle of wine every night, those extra added calories, now they're just taking a little jelly or a tincture. So those everyday healthy swaps. But yeah, it absolutely, I believe, could support that as well. I wouldn't say it's the end all be all. I think you have to make a lot of other healthy switches. But when your stress levels are down and everything is really in harmony, it's going to help play a role in weight loss for sure, and management as well.
Yeah.
It's been known to help you control your appetite. And we have boosters in Green Compass that if you need an extra little bump of a sleep boost, immunity boost, pain boost, and a metabolism boost.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so a testimonial I've heard from my people that do like the intermittent fasting, when they get to that hump where they're like so hungry and they're like trying to get to that next time allotment that they can eat again, they take their metabolism boost and it helps them ride that wave to the
Ooh,
next.
okay. That's a
Yeah.
good secret.
Huh.
Well, here's one I started doing just to help cut alcohol down on weekends, just a little bit. I want to have some fun, but at least cut some of the days off, like Friday night, especially. And so I do THC gummies and all that, but that ended up screwing me more because I would eat more calories than the alcohol calories had I done that. It's insane. So I found a good THC very low because I'm very sensitive to that with
Me
some
too.
CBD mix. And the combo had been real calm with the CBD and then just a tiny bit of that THC. Oh,
Yeah.
that made it like a fun Friday night. Maybe I had one drink the whole night. So for me, that was a success. And
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah, and you know what? Because I think a lot of people get afraid of THC, and honestly, I'm one of them because I am so high anxiety that THC and me don't get along. But
yeah,
when it is in the proper dosage, and that's another thing to take note of, is you don't know what you're getting in these products when they're unregulated, when you're buying them from the gas stations, the dispensaries, all those things. So we have third-party test lab results on every single one of our products, and there's a QR code on all of them that you can scan, know exactly what is and is not in your product. So for us, we stay under the legal limit, which I believe is like 0.5 or something like that, but it's just enough. And sometimes that little boost of THC really helps. If someone really can't sleep, I suggest taking the one, it's called full spectrum with a
okay,
little bit of THC versus broad spectrum has none. I give broad spectrum to my kids. Like my
yeah.
kids have been taking it since they were like 3 and he's 6 now. So, and it honestly, it just leveled him out. And he was just the sweet little boy that he is all the time. A lot of parents I know will give their kids melatonin. And the thing with melatonin is that it, in reverse of like what CBD does, the more you take, the less you need because you're filling up those receptors. Something like a melatonin, you actually require more and you have to keep on upping the dose, and that could be dangerous. So,
Yeah, we were doing it with our daughter,
uh-huh.
and until was watching some social media on how bad melatonin is for like young kids and what it can mess up hormonally, and I was like, well, we're done. We'll just put her down and however
Yep.
long it takes, we're done.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
glad we did that.